We have one matter for consideration under the 12th order this afternoon. Messages from the House. Senate Bill 2351. Madam Secretary.
Senate Bill 2351 was returned from the House amended. Senator Miller, Chairman of the Senate Agricultural Committee, moves that the Senate do concur in the House amendments to Senate Bill 2351 as printed on Senate Journal pages 811 and 812.
Senator Miller.
Mr. Chairman, the House amended 2351, and the bill itself does not change in its overall function, but the things that they've added were to address some concerns, mainly with regards to some questions that were even brought up in this chamber with, say, you put one dairy cow on a quarter section of land or something. Does that qualify the exemption? Well, what has been done is it specifies animal feeding operation, concentrated animal feeding operation, as designated by the Department of Health, and that has to consist of at least 50 cows, and with regards to the swine, 500 swine. These are generally basic minimum numbers you'd ever see in these types of operations, and we feel these amendments are friendly and also keep the bill from addressing these concerns that we're hearing from some people that we're going to see an abuse of this section of code. And to top it off, to make it even tighter, the Agriculture Commissioner is going to be able to adopt rules to oversee this, to assure that there is not some sort of corruption of the law in this fact, and that we see people pursuing this in a genuine and honest fashion, and that these are real dairy and real swine operations that are going to be placed on this section of land. So I ask that the Senate do concur to these amendments.
Senator Triplett.
Mr. President, I would just ask the members of the body to recall the relatively emotional testimony at the time that we discussed this bill in its Senate version, and we heard lots of nostalgia for people's grandfathers' farms or grandparents' farms, and I think the amendments to this bill as it has come back to us make it clear that we really are not talking about our grandparents' farm. We are talking about confined animal feeding operations. I appreciate the clarity that has been provided by the House in these descriptions, but I just want to repeat the concerns that I expressed earlier, which are now made more clear, that there will be environmental issues from these confined animal feeding operations, and certainly I hope that that our State Department of Health and our Department of Agriculture and our county commissioners who have to deal with zoning these facilities will be on their toes and will make sure that they are located in ways that do not pollute our groundwater, our rivers and streams, and damage the health of the employees who will work inside those facilities in terms of the bad air quality and such that are rampant in confined animal feeding operations. So while I appreciate the clarity in the bill, I would still urge a no vote on the concurrence, and then later a no vote on the bill.
Senator Miller.
Just to clarify, if you vote against the concurrence, it just goes to the conference committee, and then we'll just talk about this and probably agree to come back and vote on it again. But so I asked if you support the bill, support the concurrence, and let's move on.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none, the question is on the motion of Senator Miller that the Senate does concur in the House amendments to Senate Bill 2351. As many as are in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. We will switch to the 11th order. Senate Bill 2351, as amended, will be placed at the top of the 11th order, where we will now switch. Madam Secretary, Senate Bill 2351.
Senate Bill 2351 with House amendments, a bill for an act to create and enact Section 10 of the Century Code relating to the ownership or leasing of farm and ranch land by corporations.
Senator Miller.
Mr. President, yesterday we had the beef checkoff in which we increased that by $1. And when I brought that bill to the floor, I talked about the value-added agriculture plant that you create every time you have a livestock operation. And each beef cow is its own value-added enterprise. And in this, we have dairy and swine. And each dairy and swine animal that we bring into North Dakota, that increases the value of our ag products that we produce in this state. We're going to produce more feedstocks to feed these animals here in North Dakota, which is going to create jobs and wealth for our state and for our farmers and for our neighbors. This is an important bill. It's going to hopefully stave off that problem that we've seen, that decline in our dairy and swine industry. You know, we can't make this promise that it will work, but it's my hope that it will work. And at this point, we need to do something. And this is the main obstacle I see that we have in North Dakota as to why we have this decline. And I really believe that by advancing this bill and signing it into law, we're going to usher in a new age of agriculture. And we're going to see an increase in the dairy and swine and the livestock operations in North Dakota. And that's going to help every single farmer in this state. I ask your support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, the question is on the final passage of Senate Bill 2351 as amended. Would the Secretary please open the key? Each senator record your vote. All senators have voted. Any senator wishing to change their vote? Secretary will close the key. Final tally on Senate Bill 2351 reveals 29 senators voting yea, 16 senators voting nay, 2 senators absent and not voting. The bill is passed. Senator Klein.